Friends, hello. Let's talk about 3 stocks that are probably going to be the biggest stocks in the next 2 weeks that give you the most profit, the biggest runs. 2 of them I'm in for the long run. One of them, be careful with it. So let's go right into SoFi. This is the situation that we're seeing right now with SoFi, and we're starting to see a lot of these economists come out that are saying, we believe that we are either in a situation where the stock market is going to say, hey, I'm doing fine, I'm going to keep going, it's lying to itself, and it's just going to keep moving here. It's an all-time high, things are doing good. We're seeing, low cap stocks that haven't really been doing much in the past few years, now they're doing good, SoFi being one of them. Rate cuts are coming in, we're going to have more rate cuts. Or are we in the biggest melting pot that we are about to see tip over and destroy everything? And, even right now, I read today, and this is gonna really make people mad. I get it, because no one, if you don't like Trump, then you don't hear anything positive. But JP Morgan came off the statement and said, hey, we believe the market has priced in a Trump win at this point. We believe that the market is betting on Trump to win, because obviously, that's just what it looks like right now. It doesn't mean that the market's not going to do well with Kamala, but there is potential, if Kamala wins this election in 2 weeks, that we could see the market fall apart. Maybe not so much fall apart, but see some major sell-off. Maybe, the market goes, wah, wah, wah. We know the crypto market's doing that. We know the crypto market right now is, pricing in a Trump win. I mean, that is 100% what's going on. It is obvious right now. Obviously, too, there's a crypto natural bull market being organically happen right now, but we're watching something happen here with crypto and Trump. I mean, you've got to admit what's going on. But the market too, why is the market running so hot right now? It's doing so well right now, and it shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be, because job reports are not good. Inflation, not good. We had more CPI reports come out, not good. We're seeing these reports come out, and the market's going, okay, whatever, we're doing good. The market, we're having the presidential election in 2 weeks. I'm just going to keep looking straight. I'm not looking at that stuff. Things are going great. It looks like we think Trump's going to win, and then we're going to implement all this stuff. And SoFi is betting on that too. And the CEO of SoFi has come out, just months ago, and he said, SoFi would do better under a Republican-led Congress right now. That's out there. Say what you want. I know people that hate Trump are going to come after me for that, and I get it. I get why they're mad. They don't want anything positive said about Trump, but it's just that's what's going on. There's people that are incredibly intelligent and that do this for a living and make millions of dollars every day that are saying this right now, that they see that this is pretty much the market is putting Trump as the winner right now. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's kind of what the market is betting off of right now. So SoFi, that is one reason SoFi is doing so well too. But the main reason why SoFi is doing well, we've had first thing that kicked off here, the cuts have come in. They're happening more and more. And that's a situation that is really, really benefiting SoFi. We've been waiting on that for 2 years now with SoFi. It's supposed to happen last year. It didn't happen. And now it's finally happened with the rate cuts. Second of all, we've had this $2 billion deal situation happen with SoFi. Good, great. SoFi's had amazing quarterlies here that have just kept it going strong. Think if SoFi wasn't having good quarterlies, SoFi would be in the dumps by now. SoFi would not be doing as well as it is right now. But you have SoFi, who's about to come out with quarterlies again here in days, hours, and we know those quarterlies are going to be good. The question is, are they going to be amazingly good to really boost up? And if SoFi comes out with crazy good numbers here with this next quarterly, be prepared to see SoFi to walk into a $12 to $13 mark. That is going to happen, and there's nothing we can do to stop it, especially with all this news that's come out here. And I wouldn't be surprised if SoFi came out with some more good news here that they've been hiding underneath their sleeves. So, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about SoFi other than SoFi is doing amazing. SoFi is doing amazing. I am curious to see what is this. Is there going to be sell-off in SoFi, or is SoFi going to keep running until it hits earnings here in a very short time? It's very possible that it will. The market had a little bit of a sell-off today, but it just wasn't like massive sell-off. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It's still, like I said, the market's just like, whatever, we're just going. SoFi is kind of doing the same thing right now, which is very odd because SoFi was so reactive to the market here just months ago, weeks ago, and now it's totally changed. So SoFi is relying on these rate cuts. It's still going off the deal situation that just happened, and it's it's running hot right now because it's in the zeitgeist and it's got earnings coming up. So if there is a sell-off in SoFi, it might be around $9.50, but I'm curious to see if SoFi will ever touch $8 again. That is a very curious situation right now. All right, let's go right into DJT, Trump Media. Now, obviously, I have spoken on the stock much, and what I want to say is, if you're going to be in the stock, the next 2 weeks are going to be the hottest movement for this stock that we know about right now. So for people that love Trump, they want to be in the stock for the long run, this may not be the conversation for you right now. This is not something I would tell you to this is not something that I would tell you just to like put hundreds of dollars in and say like, I trust it, it's going to do great, I'm holding it for the next 10 years. This is not that conversation I'm having right now. This is strictly get in, get out, take your money, run, come back, rob it again, and get out. This is that kind of situation. You cannot go into this situation right now with emotions. This is strictly a situation where, of all, this stock is going to continue to run the next 2 weeks. It's going to run. I would not be surprised by the end of this week if this stock was at $40. By election day, 48 hours till the election, I would not be surprised to see this stock at $50 to $55. That is probably a real possibility, if not more, depending on how these polls and everything changes. I don't see sell-off coming with this stock right now until after the election. Now, obviously, these next 2 weeks, what am I saying? I'm saying it's strictly a buy in at 30, sell at 32. Buy in at 32, sell at 35. This is probably going to be the general consensus of this stock. It's going to continue to run. Last week, they halted this stock because the volume was so heavy on it. They halted it, which is total bogus. It's BS. So that makes it a little more risky because now like they're looking in on it and they're like, well, we're not going to let it run too much here. We're going to stop it, which sucks for investors. So the next you've got 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to play with this stock. Hit it back and forth, do what you want with it. You've got 2 weeks golden in it. If you buy in at 31 here and then it goes back down to 30, I don't know that I would panic sell. I'm going to be honest with you because, this stock is showing signs of just going up right now. And it's going to because, Trump is really, he's holding in the polls. Like it's not like Trump is like doing off on these polls. He's in the betting average. Trump is killing it in the betting average right now. So it's pushing the stock. It's pushing the stock that there's people that are putting their money into it that are just selling it back and forth every day. Okay, good, great, grand. Then there's people that are buying it right now at $30 and they're like, I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to take a bet that Trump is going to win this election. And then if Trump wins the election, that first week in November here, the stock may shoot to around like $60 to $100. That's a very real possibility. Do not kid yourself about that. If you're saying it's not, you have not been watching what's been going on with the stock for the last 4 years and how it's reacted to news. So that is a very real possibility here. Don't kid yourself. But the other situation with that is, that's a gamble. We're not investing at that point. That's a gamble. But, obviously where there's money to be made, make your money. That's something you have to do and think about yourself. The other situation is if you hold this until after the election and Trump loses the election, this stock will more than likely go to $8 to $5. I guarantee you. And this is not something that I would hold my money in and say Trump's going to work on the company. It's going to be a massive company in the future. It's a death wish. It is a death wish on your money, 100%. That is not a slight on Trump whatsoever. If you're a Trump fan, anything like that, I'm not saying anything against Trump. I'm saying it's a death wish because the media, lawyers, everything, they're going to come after this company. They do not like it. They do not want it out there. Things will rapidly change with news more if Kamala wins, and we know that to be true. That That's just the unbiased truth. This is not a company that will survive the next 4 years under a Kamala Harris presidency. It's just not going to happen. So it would be a death sentence to hold your money in here. It will never see $30 again, ever. So that's pretty much what I have to say about this. Next 2 weeks, you got your play time. This is it. After that, it depends on if Trump wins this election. Now, if Trump wins the election, yeah, this is a stock that, we'll see what happens. That's a different conversation. But like I said, I think this will run probably to $40 at least, $40 to $50 up until the election. After that, I don't know. I'll see. If Trump wins, that's really what you're hoping for here for the big money, for the big payday. Palantir, God almighty. Just when I think I've bought enough Palantir, I'm like, I haven't bought enough. Palantir will be releasing quarterlies here, days, hours, right around the same time Sofi. Palantir is up over 160% this year. Crazy numbers. People have asked me, am I still buying Palantir at these prices? Absolutely, I'm buying Palantir at these prices. How I like to do stuff, I have different portfolios. I have Palantir where I have shares of Palantir where I was buying it 2 years ago. Then I have, a portfolio for this year when I've been buying Palantir. That portfolio, I don't really care about how high I'm buying Palantir because I'm holding Palantir for the next, few years at least to see how this situation that they have going on progresses. Are they going to keep getting these big government contracts? Are they going to still remain, undefeated in their realm of what they do with AI? Are they going to have competition? This is something I talked about a lot about, where Alex Karp has come out with these interviews these past few months where he's given, a little bit of breadcrumbs here and there where he said, there's only so much Alex can say, the CEOs can say before the FCC comes after them. They can't just directly come out and say, like, listen, guys, quarterlies for Palantir next month are going to blow your socks off. By the way, we've got this deal coming and this deal and this new software. They can't say things like that. But when a CEO isn't talking about their company, that is cause for concern. When they are talking and they're excited and they're giving somewhat little breadcrumbs, that's something you really want to be encouraged about and something big's coming. So that's what Alex has been doing. If you've been watching, he's been coming out and saying like, hey, we don't have competition. Hey, we're undervalued still, even at this price. Hey, we've got some big things coming here that you don't know about. So those are some really big things to be excited about. Now the question is, this next quarterly that's coming out here just in days with Palantir, more than likely Palantir will shoot up to $45 up until that release of the quarterlies. That's probably going to happen. It's not huge, but it's great. But after that, what will these quarterlies be? Will these quarterlies be, they beat quarterlies, but how good did they beat quarterlies? We talking 15? We talking 25? We talking 30, 35, 40? Maybe. Now, if Palantir releases something like that, we could definitely see Palantir run to a $50 to $55 price tag. And on top of that, I really think we're in this genesis moment right now with Palantir where people are really going to remember Palantir at this moment. Because if Palantir comes out with these next quarterlies that are just heavy, we're talking Titanic anchor heavy quarterlies here where they just fall on your face and you're like, this is going to be the situation where it's going to be a feeding frenzy. It's going to be a feeding frenzy. It's going to be chum in the water. You're going to see everyone go all right. And they're just going to start plowing their money into Palantir. And this is what is going to drive up the price so fast with Palantir. We've already seen it with AI stocks this year. I mean, 6 months ago, people were paying over $1,000 a share for NVIDIA, especially when they announced the stock split. Now, obviously, this is a different situation, different company, but that kept progressing, and then, after that, NVIDIA came out with another quarterly that was even bigger. It was so big, people were like, whatever. Imagine Palantir getting to a spot where it just gets a little bit of that hype, where it becomes a household name. Imagine, a year, 2 years from now, Palantir is just how people talk about NVIDIA now. imagine they're talking about Palantir then. Imagine you start hearing about Palantir on TV shows, podcasts, just day-to-day podcasts you listen to, things like that. That's when things really start to change in the zeitgeist of people finding out about, companies. Palantir's still very little and affordable when it comes to stock price. There's a lot more AI companies out there that are far more expensive than Palantir, but many of them you've probably never heard of. I mean, it's the truth. So Palantir is in this very special place right now with investors, and it's known, but it's not known to everyone right now. It's still very under the radar when it comes to major investors. But this earnings that they are about to release, this could really change it in a good way. It could damage it in the sense of like, well, it's off to the races now. It's just super expensive. It's just it's gone. Like I can't pay $55 a share. Well, you will. I know I will, because I know Palantir is going to keep going up here. I honestly believe within a year or two, Palantir is going to be at $150 stock. And that's low. When I say 150, people may be going like, whoa, buddy, where are you getting these numbers? That's low. I don't know if you guys have been reading or looking at other pretty honorable people on YouTube that have done well in the stock market, but they are coming out with hellacious numbers of what they think Palantir is going to be at. So me saying $150 within 2 years from now, I think that's undervalued. You got to think just what Palantir does in a year of time. Imagine if Palantir closes out this year at $50 to $55. We're already more than halfway there. Imagine what they'll look like 6 months from now with more quarterlies under their belt. Friends, this is just a Monday video. We're seeing what's going on this week. These next 2 weeks in the market are going to be very interesting. Be careful where you're positioning yourself. If you're in this stuff for the long run, Palantir and Sofi, whatever. Buy it, store it up like a squirrel stores nuts. DJT here, Trump Media. Be careful with that. Be careful. Don't don't use your kids' Christmas money to get into that. That's a risky situation. But I wish all of you the best of luck, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.